Hey everyone, it's Temia, the Healthy Hair Therapist, and I am back with another video. That's right, we're going to be doing a blowout / silk press on all of this beautiful texture. That's right. And the most exciting part about this particular video is she's a twinsy. That's right, she is a twinsy, and they both have the same amount of hair, the same density of hair, and the same texture. And I'm telling you guys, I thoroughly enjoyed this blowout. It was very intense and it took a lot of time, a little bit more than what I am used to when it comes to doing blowouts, but I expected it because I've been doing their hair for quite some time now, and so I haven't seen them since they went away for college. But when they came back, their mom and dad made sure that they got back in my chair and that I was able to assess their hair to make sure that everything was intact. And the most amazing part about this is that their blowouts will last them maybe a month or so before they even have to do anything else to it. So yes, your blowout can last that long if the person who's utilizing the tools would utilize them correctly and utilize the right technique. And you can have a great, flawless blowout that will not damage your texture, and it will last you 3 weeks to a month if you want it to last you, okay? And so I'm using a blow dryer. I try not to go above 1200 watts. That's just my particular preference because of the damage and things that it does to the hair. I never want to ruin the integrity of my client's curl pattern because they do wear their hair in curly textures throughout the year. They only come down and get a blowout maybe once or twice a year. So I want them to be able to enjoy the fullness of their curls and the longevity of their curls without having those straight ends that came from heat damage or heat memory. So right now you see me, I've already started off detangling her hair, and I'm just kind of going through with the blow dryer. Normally I start off blow drying with the afro comb, but in this instance I did not do that. So guys, I'm done blow drying. This is all of her hair. No kidding. This is just a blow drying process. So I just want to take a break so you guys can see how long her hair is hanging and how thick and full it is. So we're getting ready to start our flat iron. So I do start my flat iron I do everything from the bottom to the top, and I work in sections. And so it's very important that when you're dealing with hair this thick and this full, that you are working in sections. And I have a 2-pass minimum. If you can't get that hair straight in 2 passes, honey, then you need to go try to figure out another technique, because it is not going to be worth it going through that hair more than 2 times. One is because you're going to start damaging the cuticle shaft, and then 2, you're going to create strings and straight strings into their hair where it's going to be heat memory or heat damage, and no one wants their curls ruined or interrupted because you didn't want to follow the right measures to get their hair straight. So guess what? Do everything in the shampoo bowl to protect the hair. And that's right, I do have heat protectant in her hair because that's very important. You guys didn't see me put a lot of products in her hair because I kind of sped the video up, but I put all of my products in while the hair is completely saturated at the shampoo bowl to ensure that it does get through to the hair. All right, and make sure that it penetrates and lays where it needs to lay at, and everything is just everything, you know. And so I'm just continuing to work my way around her head and just making sure that I'm flat ironing. And you guys see, I'm 2-pass minimum. Sometimes you may see me go a 3rd time depending on what section I'm in. Like the middle part, the crown area of her head is very thick, and so doing that in sections helps me, but breaking those sections down a little bit more, it will help instead of you having to do 5 and 6 and 7 passes. No one needs 5 and 6 and 7 passes in their hair. I don't care what anyone tells you. We do not need 5, 6, and 7 passes in our hair because our hair is fragile because of the curl pattern, and you don't want to break or ruin the integrity of your client's curl pattern. They will not forgive you. They will talk about you. I'm telling you, because they come to me and they talk about a lot of people who I know who claim they know natural hair but know nothing about it. All right. So anywho, that's another story. But so you see me going through her hair. And I just want you guys to just notice how I am really taking my time and utilizing my comb method with my flat iron to be able to make sure that I get each and every strand flat iron and make sure that each and every strand has touched that heat. All right. And so you see the parts that's not been flat iron, you see is really dull, but the parts that have been straightened, you see the shine that's coming through. And guys, that is all the products that I've already put into their hair. I don't understand why people spray their blowouts as they go as a form of heat protectant. I am a firm believer that heat protectant should be done when the hair is fully saturated and not when the hair is not saturated, because if you put everything into the hair when the hair is saturated, when you dry the products into the hair so that you begin to close that cuticle shaft. All right, the hydrogen bonds begin to break in the hair once the water hits it. And so when that water hits her hair, I want to make sure that everything is inside of that hydrogen, inside of that cuticle, that it needs to be in there. Anything that's in the hair, that's on the hair, needs to be in and on the hair while the hair is wet. Now at the end, I may go through with a little bit of my Mazzani humidity shield just to control the humidity, because we're in Florida. I don't know where anyone else is at, but in Florida we have high humidity. She's headed back to Columbus, so I'm not sure how the humidity is up there. However, I checked on them and checked some pictures, and when they made it back, their hair is still intact. It still looks good, so I'm grateful for that. So as you guys can see, I finished up the blowout. Now don't forget to go back around the perimeter with your flat irons. If you have some little the small 1/4 inch ones, or even the ones that I'm using, just make sure that you're very careful that it doesn't touch the client's scalp, and that you have the perimeter of their hair straight enough so that when you comb the hair back down, you'll be able to see the difference. Now this is my lovely standing up, and as you guys can see, she has still some color at the end. She wanted me to cut all the color out of her hair. No, that wasn't her, that was her sister. She wanted more color into her hair, but you guys see the ends of her hair. It needs to be trimmed. She hasn't had her hair trimmed since I colored it last and I trimmed it last. And I'm telling you guys, that was before she went to college back in August. Okay, so I made her stand up so that way I can see the full length of her hair. If you don't make your client stand up to see the full length of their hair, sometimes your cuts can be crooked, and you don't want that to happen. And so I was in the process of changing some things around, so I had to get a cape and flip it inside out so that I can see her hair and see what needs to be cut. Try not to trim hair with a black cape, because if you trim hair with a black cape, sometimes you really can't see what you're trimming. And as you guys can see, I was able to take the cape off and then sit her back down and go through her hair. Now I was able to go through her hair just to get some of those ends off. I'm not cutting her hair in layers, but I am making sure that I'm catching everything that needs to be caught in her hair, because a lot of times with long hair, we just feel that if we go around the perimeter and we do a 0-degree elevation cut, that we've trimmed everything, and that is not so. You have to make sure that you're going through the hair to make sure that you have all of the ends. And this is just a little trick that I do. I pull off the hair from the crown to the front to trim, and I cover the client's face with their hair, because that is my way of checking my cut. So as I'm going through and trimming, I'm also checking to make sure that everything is even, everything is nice and breezy. So I just rubbed a little bit of pomade on her hair. It's Paul Mitchell's pomade on her hair, sprayed a little bit of Mazzani humidity shield just to lay down those stray hairs, and she still has her shine. And then you guys can see I had to make her sit back down. She was ready to run. Voila, we have a blowout, and look how silky and straight it is, guys. Look at that, so beautiful. That is all her hair, no extensions. And I'm gonna do the comb. Oh, yep, boom, silky. You guys see it. It's